In the last election cycle, more than 75,000 people voted against Marjorie Taylor-Greene. Newly registered people. And I've talked to, it doesn't matter if it's a Republican, independent, or Democrat. I've talked to everybody. And everybody that I talk to, Republicans come up to me every day with tears in their eyes saying, please, get rid of Marjorie Taylor-Greene. She doesn't represent us. She truly doesn't. And I've heard this time and time again, across the board. A primary is not a general election. I guarantee you,
gentlemen, what you're hearing
in the primary,
Marcus Flowers,
you will see
who's a man
difference.
who wears a hat and doesn't own one single head of cattle. He's a liar, and all he has done is sent emails all over the country to raise money for himself, and he pays himself out of his campaign with your donation dollars. If you're a California Democrat sending money to Marcus Flowers, he's paying himself to run for Congress and pretend that he can beat me in a blood-red Republican district. None of his Democrat defund the police, America Last policies represent our district, and I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do get a response to that. Yeah.
Marcus, you're a father, and you are a representative of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is the party of child abuse. It's the party that represents grooming children and sexualizing them in school, teaching anti-white racism in the terms of CRT education, and genital mutilation of kids that can't even get a driver's license, can't get a tattoo, and cannot vote. How do you stand there and represent the Democrat Party as a father? And do you believe in genital mutilation of children under the age of 18? And these puberty blockers that have severe health consequences?
Time for your
because
question.
I've introduced a bill to ban it and make it a felony to mutilate children's genitals. Do you stand by that?
Boy, that was a lot. And God bless you, Marjorie Taylor-Greene. If you truly believe that I'm praying for you. You know, I believe in this country. I believe in our democracy. And I believe in standing up for human rights. People come up to me every day and tell me how they feel attacked by you. And yes, I'm talking about children in our LGBTQ plus community. Every day, Congresswoman Greene, seniors, Latinos, blacks, men and women, every day. This is how she treats the people of Northwest Georgia and the people of America. Attacks, constantly attacking. That's not representative, Greene. You represent them.
I do. I represent and I will always protect children. And that's why I introduced the Protect Children's Innocent Act, to protect children who just may be confused about their identity. Kids need to grow up. They do not need to have mastectomies, castration, or take dangerous drugs that have serious health consequences. Marcus Flowers represents the Democrat Party, and the Democrat Party is the party of child abuse. And we have to stand up and stop it right now. To protect children, we protect them from making serious mistakes that will last a lifetime. The same mistakes and regrets that many, many detrans people have right now.
Extreme examples and lies is what Marjorie Taylor-Greene is doing, trying to misrepresent me. You know, you spent your time in Congress these last couple of years providing aid and comfort to the January 6th insurrectionists. My question for you is, why do you care more about those criminals in jail than you do about the people of our district?
You want to know something? I care about stopping the two-tiered justice system that is happening right now in America. I was a victim of the January 6th riot, and I've said it over and over again. I'm completely against what happened on January 6th. But I will not stand by and watch Merrick Garland turn the Department of Justice into a political weapon, and the FBI sending it after parents that are addressing their school boards, people that walked in the Capitol and have been held in jail for nearly 2 years, while Antifa and BLM rioters go free and are never held accountable. I will always stand up for freedom, defend our freedom of speech, defend our Second Amendment, and defend everyone's ability to live the American dream. That's what I care about, and I truly care about representing those values and those abilities and freedoms for Georgia's 14th district.
So what I'm hearing is criminals over police officers. That's what I heard.
You're the party of defund the police, Marcus. Not
You
not
defund the police. That's
Here we
rich,
go.
Congresswoman Green.
we fund
Let's go to
defund
round
the
three.
FBI shirts and hats that you're selling, making
go
money
to
off
round
of.
Yes,
three.
the FBI that is targeting
We're going to
people
cut their mics
politically.
in
Mere
just a
law.
minute.
Marjorie Taylor-Greene there. You're well known for making controversial statements. Detail your process for vetting and fact-checking your statements that you make in public and post to social media.
Can you tell me what's controversial about defending the freedom of speech, or what's controversial about defending our border, or saying we need to? Can you give me an example? The things I say in public are the truth, and that's why they're so offensive to Democrat activists in the media just like you. And you're asking me a blanket question with no example. I stand by the things that I say. I stand by saying that we need to secure our border, that we need to protect all of our freedoms and our rights, that we need to stop the America Last Democrat communist policies that are destroying our country. I stand by the words that I say. They're just offensive to Washington, D.C. and the swamp creatures there, because the words that I speak are the same as Americans back home, the same as people in Georgia's 14th district. And the words that I speak are the truth. And you want to know something, Josh? Sometimes the truth hurts, and Washington deserves to hear it. We're over $31 trillion in debt. Our government has failed the American people, and right now, this administration has us on the verge of a nuclear war with Russia, where they care more about funding a war in Ukraine than they care about protecting Americans, helping homeless people on the streets, and securing our border and stopping fentanyl from killing young people in America.
That is a big issue in our district, our infrastructure, and supporting new business and growth. You know, I've talked to mayors and city council members all over our district. We are actually losing companies coming into our district because we can't support it, because we don't have the housing, because we don't have the roads, because we don't have the water and the schools to support those districts. I will work day and night tirelessly to make sure that we have the infrastructure to support all of the companies who want to come into beautiful Northwest Georgia and provide us with great jobs. We're leading in energy here in Georgia. As a matter of fact, we have the largest solar manufacturing plant in the Western Hemisphere in Dalton. But some of those jobs need to be dispersed throughout the district, and I want to make sure of that. Congresswoman Green, she's too busy flying around the country. She spent $37,000 in the last quarter alone on flights all over the country. She spends too much time in New York, Bedminster, Florida, Michigan, Arizona, Texas. She's never here in our district.
Marcus has never been a business owner and knows nothing about business. He's never signed the front of a paycheck, so it's hard for him to even comprehend how to do that. He supports the Democrat Party, the party of the Green New Deal, the party of destroying American energy independence, which is the #1 need for manufacturing companies in my district. And by the way, Calhoun is in Gordon County, not Dalton. That's Whitfield County. You don't know anything about our district. I do. I am going to work very hard to lower inflation and also open up many opportunities for businesses growing and developing in Northwest Georgia. And I'm so excited to be a part of that.
Decency and integrity, core values that Marjorie Taylor-Greene does not have. We've heard a lot from her, and she's good. She is good at spouting off utter nonsense that has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on in our district. I guarantee you, Georgia, if you allow me to be your next congressman, I will work day and night for you. Constituent services, something that you're not getting right now. Our mayors, our city council members, they'll have a seat at the table in D.C. Their needs will be met. Right now, I can tell you, I've talked to a lot of them. They haven't heard from Marjorie Taylor-Greene.
You have no right to attack the hardworking people in my constituent services. They do a phenomenal job, and you know nothing about their hard work because they have served the constituents in Northwest Georgia over and over. So I will not have you attack them. They love their jobs. They love serving and helping people, and that is wrong, and you owe them an apology. You owe them an apology, my constituent services.
Why don't you list your offices on your website?
This is my do not attack the people that work in our office. As a member of Congress that is very much looking forward to Republicans taking back the House in January, I'm excited to talk about the commitment to America. The commitment to America is going to provide an economy that is strong. We are going to provide a nation that is safe. We are going to provide a future that is free, and we are very excited to hold government accountable. That means on oversight and through investigations, and I am very much looking forward to being a part of that and taking my place on committees. I will work very hard to do two things. Number one, investigate wrongdoing and hold them accountable. Number two, work hard within my conference and within all of Congress to legislate and produce bills that do these great things for a Republican commitment to America. So I'm in the construction company. So infrastructure is something I understand, and being a business owner for over 20 years, that's something I know how to do. What we're going to do for infrastructure is make sure America is energy independent, support fossil fuels, stop funding failing green energies. Wind only supplies 9% of electricity, and then solar is less than 3%, but fossil fuels are over 60%, and nuclear is nearly 20%. It's extremely important. What we also have to do is we have to fund actual infrastructure. Biden's infrastructure bill was actually about the Green New Deal and not about roads and bridges.
As was suggested earlier, I am running as Marcus Flowers, not Marjorie Taylor-Greene. Listen, I'm the son of a teacher, the grandson of a sheriff. I'm a veteran. I'm a father. I'm a member of this community. I've traveled this district for the last 2 years, and I've talked to people from every walk of life in every corner of our district. And what I hear from them is they want a representative who will work for them. This isn't about Republicans or Democrats. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about right and wrong. This is about chaos versus stability. This is about us. I want you to go in starting tomorrow and vote for right or wrong. Georgia, we have to decide what we want in our seat. Do we want a show horse, or do we want a workhorse who's going to get things done for us? God bless you, and thank you.
Well, you just heard from my Democrat opponent that usually wears a cowboy hat but doesn't ride a horse and doesn't own any cattle. Fake cowboys, you know, might be an extra on Yellowstone when you get done with this career.
That's a good question.
Northwest Georgia, Georgia's 14th district, I want to thank you first and foremost for voting for me and putting your trust in me to represent you in Washington. And no matter how many people lie about me, like my Democrat opponent, people in the media, or anybody on the internet, I want you to know that I will stand up to these attacks and never change how I vote and how I legislate. You elected me to go to Washington to fight for your conservative traditional values, to bring fiscal responsibility back to Washington, which I know how to do because I'm a successful business owner, and also to protect your kids. That's my number one priority because I'm a mom of 3 kids. So I want to ask you again for your vote. Early voting starts tomorrow. Election day is November 8th. Make sure you bring your friends and your family. Go out and vote for me, Marjorie Taylor-Greene, and it'd be an honor of my lifetime to go back in January and represent you again. Thank you very much.